Opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and not WSTU. WSTU does not endorse any products mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU.
The Treasure Coast's longest-running local talk radio show is on the air. The Treasure Coast Forum. Get interested, get educated, get involved, and give us a call with your opinions at 220-9788. And here's your host of the Treasure Coast Forum.
Hello, happy Thursday. I hope you all have been well. I'm Nayana Pierre-Lewis, but you can call me No-No, and I'm here with...
Hello, guys. I'm John.
And...
I'm Frank.
Yeah, so really quickly, so I'm just gonna start off, I have to, like, college, since we're in that grind. And so this week, my friend comes up to me and she's like, hey, oh my God, no. And I was like, yeah, what's up? And she goes, oh, did you apply for Penn State? And I was like, yeah, I did. What happened? And she's like, I just found out I got accepted. Oh my goodness. And now, this is like third period anthropology. And I'm stressing because I didn't get any email. I didn't get any notification. And Penn State has a 78% acceptance rate around there. It's very high. So I only have to beat about 20% to 30-ish of the the application pool.
Right.
Which I think is very easy for somebody like me.
Doable.
A little bit boastful of me. Yeah. But I just think I have the means to be 20% of the population. So I'm there and I'm just like, and it just says, we've received everything and your application is still under review. I'm just like, why haven't I found out yet? And I learned a very valuable lesson from my friend. And he said, a pot doesn't boil when you stare at it. I think that's how. I don't know how to.
Watched pot never boils.
Yeah. Oh, that's what. Yeah. At least you understood.
Yes.
And so.
Yeah, that's yes.
But what's funny? I mean, I haven't been watching the pot that is my Penn State application.
Right.
But I mean, it's not boiling, so I don't know. I hope something comes at least this weekend, next week. I don't know, just quickly, because I actually also found out that another university, the one that I applied to in Rhode Island, I find out the decisions tomorrow.
Nice.
So I really have high hopes for that. I already got like a scholarship from the school in New Jersey that I got accepted to. I get $20,000 a year.
Nice.
So good. I'm just really excited and I'm so ready, but I'm also like very nervous.
Sure.
And then
I learned, it's a good kind of nervous.
Yeah, it is. It's just like anticipation for the future.
Right.
And then I also learned that, so for youth and government, we have something called Teen Change Makers, and it's where you go to like kind of just re-understand, refocus how like gig works, the different branches, who are the leaders, what to look forward to before state assembly, which is our big end of the year event. And for this, because of COVID and everything like that, we're going to Camp Keystone. I've never been to this place before, but it's a 3-hour and 53-minute drive, at least from South Fork, because at the time I was on my computer looking it up from South Fork. But I guess like a rough estimate of how far away this place will be. And it's also north from here. So I'm getting better directionally.
Nice.
We're driving north.
Yes.
And so
it's a good start. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm on my Zoom call and whatnot because we're a part of like the PO. We're running this whole entire thing over the weekend. And it's just like, okay. And I'm asking everybody, I'm like, hey, so because we have a group chat and people are saying like, bring sheets, bring pillows, bring all these things. And so I was like, okay, like, do you have anything specifically? And then last night at like midnight,
right.
They say bring shower shoes. And I was like,
oh yeah,
what the heck are shower shoes?
You don't know?
Yeah. No, but okay, but then
You've
I was
never
like,
gone camping, right?
No. So, but here's what I found out.
Yeah.
They're just like flip-flops or like Crocs.
Yeah. Yes.
Why would you call them shower shoes?
Because you wear them. You wear them while you take a shower.
Well,
that's so your feet does not come into contact with whatever's in the shower.
Well, guess what? I had to learn second period at like. I think it was no. What time does the bell ring again? It's like 9:10. At 9:10 in the morning.
Yeah.
I had to learn that you can get foot fungus.
Yes.
From a shower.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Hold that thought.
Oh well.
You're on the air. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
You're on the air.
Palm City Charlie.
Hey.
Hi.
Palm City Charlie.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good. I talked to Todd and so forth.
How did things go?
Things went well. He
Good.
wants me to talk to some business group. But anyway,
Yes.
I want to throw a curveball at our aspiring attorney.
Okay. All right.
One of the
Pitch
things
away.
that I don't know if you ever considered, and this may be crazy, but ROTC, like when you get involved at your university,
Mhm.
and then consider, because you want to become an attorney, you know, a highfalutin defense
Yeah.
attorney,
Oh yeah. Mhm.
you know, you can get involved in JAG.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you're building a resume.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And when you leave the service, sky's the limit, kid.
Right.
That
Right.
is true. Honestly, I hate to say it, but I actually regret doing band because of all my friends who are in ROTC, and they're like they get to do the color guard
Right.
and
Yeah, but
wear
you can
the
do that in college.
no, of course, it's just in college. I don't know. I think it depends on where I go to see where like which places have really good ROTC programs.
Well,
But
the other thing I was going to mention, which is
Mhm.
way too late for you, but I mean, I did this in my own life.
Mhm.
You network,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
and here I was up in Connecticut. My parents called me, my dad, I need you. I drove down to a job,
Nice.
you know, because
Yeah.
I had networked with the Stewart News, and the Palm Beach Post offered me a job because that's where the Hartford Current wanted me to go.
Mhm.
And I didn't want to drive to West Palm. That's crazy.
Well, actually, that is a fair point, and I feel like we're not often taught the value of relationships. I know my brother told me a long time it's not often how hard you work, but it's the people you meet who will push
Oh,
you to get
absolutely.
there.
Absolutely.
So,
I sat down with the people at the Stewart News long before they hired me,
mhm.
and they wanted to hire me after talking to me. And I go, why? I'm, I think I was 50 at the time. I got 5 weeks vacation. I'm happy where I am. But anyway, you know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but you should tell your, like younger people, juniors, sophomores,
Mhm.
hey, and I've been telling my grandsons, network.
Yeah.
If you play soccer real good, get to know the coach.
Yeah. And
You
I
know?
mean, I tell the same like so I have a younger sister and she's like the complete opposite of me. She's very like quiet, soft spoken, and like shy. And she's actually like at a basketball game right now. And one of the things I told her is that she kind of struggles in the social sense. Like me, I'm very extroverted. I'm the first person to talk to you. I'll light up a room. Everybody says that. And so I told her like, hey, you struggle with your relationships on the basketball team. Be best friends with the best players. Like say, hey, you're really good at this. Compliment them. Talk to them. Practice with them. Be like, hey, do you want to
You know
practice?
what?
Get
I'm
to
going
know
to
the
turn the
coach.
table on you. Make
Mm.
friends with the person who's struggling.
Oh, that too. That too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're the king
That is
or the
true.
queen.
That
Okay.
is true.
Right.
Yeah.
I
So
like it.
always reach out to help people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too. It's just the message there is just to like ask questions, at
Right.
least extend, build community. And I think that also goes that's just a little bit of networking on the high school level,
Mhm.
So but yeah, I definitely I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
definitely be
Alright.
better when I go to college.
I like the
yeah.
ROTC
Well,
suggestion. That's
Yeah.
a good call.
I think you'd end up being in charge of the whole shooting.
Shoot. Master
Because
Sergeant.
you are
Yeah.
outspoken and you are bubbly and all of that.
Right.
And
Hmm.
so that could work out for you real well. I mean, who's
Yeah.
that? Lindsey Graham,
Mm-hmm.
South Carolina.
Right.
I think he's a big mouth. Okay, personally, I'm a libertarian, but he was JAG.
Yes.
And look
he
at
was.
him.
Yeah.
You get into government, you don't have to do anything, and you make a huge amount of money.
Yeah. There you go.
That's another
Sometimes
thing
that's the
you
way
can
to
do.
go.
Yeah.
All right.
I love it.
All right then.
Start at the
Mhm.
local level and work your way up.
Of
Mm.
course.
Talk to you later. Have
Thanks.
a
All right.
great.
Thank you for calling. I appreciate it.
Take
All
care.
right.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
But yes, I was just so surprised to see that you can get fungus.
Yes.
I I feel like I don't know. I'm so
That's
smart.
why the shower
Yeah.
shoes. It all makes
Yeah.
sense now. It's like,
But like the thing is that I'm so smart for somebody who knows so little. But it's okay because it keeps me humble.
yeah.
Anyways, that's just my little
Right.
like
Okay.
what
Yeah.
I've learned.
It all makes sense.
Anyways, I'm gonna pass things over to you and then over to John, and you could do your little theme song or whatever.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
John. Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Well, so we can do a little bit of this day in history.
Of
Okay.
course.
All right.
I'm handing it over.
Okay, so on November 18th, 1889, the Navy launched the battleship USS Maine at the Brooklyn Naval Yard, but the ship's beginning would turn out to be not nearly as famous as its ending. Turns out an explosion that sent it to the bottom of Havana's harbor in 1898 triggered the Spanish-American War and giving rise to the slogan, "Remember the Maine." The Maine was one of several battleships named after states. Over time, the Navy has developed a system of sometimes ignored for naming vessels. So they have a whole protocol now how you name vessels. So that's kind of neat. And also on this day in history, Captain Nathaniel Palmer becomes the first American to sight Antarctica. And that was, again, in 1820.
Oh, wow.
And in 1872, Susan B. Anthony was arrested in Rochester, New York for trying to vote in the presidential election earlier in the month. So she got nabbed for voting. And in 1883, at the urging of the railroads, the United States was divided into time zones. So that happened in 1883. That's pretty interesting. And in 1928, on this date, Steamboat Willie, the first Mickey Mouse cartoon with sound, premiered. So there you go.
Yay!
That is this day in history.
That's a nice, well-rounded, like
Mhm.
just historical events, I guess.
Yeah.
And later on, we'll be talking about a huge historical event.
Okay.
Major foreshadowing. Wait, yeah, pull up the theme song before I hand it over to John.
Oh yeah, here
Yeah,
we go.
da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yes, right. We got to get John's soundtrack going.
Here we go.
Here we go, John. Maybe.
Maybe.
No, you weren't supposed to say anything yet.
Oh,
Is
here.
it not working? Oh, here we go. And now the space forecast with John.
Okay, so these things are being interconnected. So this Monday,
Mm-hmm.
you guys know how we're, as countries, are being a bit more experimental in space. In the past, we had us, and I believe it was China or another foreign nation where we were testing out like missiles to take down satellites. So earlier this week, on Monday, Russia launched one of its anti-satellite missiles, and it was ones from like a couple 20, 30 years ago. So it was entirely just in disarray.
It was
dead.
set. Right.
Nothing worked. So they're like, okay, well, this would be a good target. They launched it, and it created about 1,500 pieces of debris, and that's the ones that we can find and track. And then there's little debris. It sent the ISS into chaos, so everybody started getting to the pods, and that went on for a while. So they're going to have to inspect for damages and such. That's part of it.
I think they even had to adjust the orbit a little bit of the ISS just to make sure they cleared any of the orbital debris.
And there's pictures of it, and it has like them in the green zone, and then it has the entire debris. They're smack in the middle of the debris.
Oh my
And this
goodness.
ties into another thing, Mr. Frank. I'm guessing you heard of it. It was the DART mission.
DART, yes.
Okay, so what this was,
They're going to
is-
move mountains.
yeah, they're pretty
No,
much.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Okay, so what this one is, it's spaceships. Like, what do you think you can do with the spaceship? Just like off the top
Fly.
of your head.
Fly.
Besides that,
Have like
Think of the name
think
of the
of-
mission.
okay, wait.
Yeah.
Go to well, I mean, have you guys seen the movie like Passenger with Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt? And okay, well, anyway, long story short, they send a whole bunch of these humans into the spaceship in order to like bring plant life into a different planet, because it's like human travel and colonization or whatever. And basically, I think spaceships can also do mesocosms of like life. That's just
I
that's
think
just
this
what
would
came to
end
my head.
life. Okay, so
Really?
Okay, so the DART mission is they're they picked out an asteroid. It was what was the name? Okay, so they picked out an asteroid. It's a small asteroid. So what they're doing with the spaceship is they're going to launch it and knock it into the asteroid to see if they can modify its trajectory. So kind of like this is going to sound way too futuristic, kind of like an anti-meteoroid system.
Okay. I mean, it's not too few. I mean, if that's what it is, and they don't have a name
just
for
think
it.
about it.
No, yeah.
You're launching. I don't know. I guess it's just me.
No,
You're launching
no.
physical rockets at an asteroid.
Right. So they're going to hit it like a dart hitting the dartboard.
It was
Yes.
Dimorphos.
Right. So the whole idea is if they can change the trajectory of an asteroid, if there's an asteroid that is likely to maybe come to Earth, which we really don't want to see, we could theoretically
prevent that.
Yeah,
Okay.
So there's a reason why they're taking a harmless asteroid and then just seeing if they can play with
I
it.
think it's even a moon, actually.
Okay,
nice.
here we go. We
Interesting.
got somebody on the air.
Hello.
Go ahead, caller.
Hello.
Hello.
It's not a prank call. It's not anything weird.
Okay.
No, you're all good.
Go ahead.
One question.
Yes, sir.
Hmm?
Do you believe in aliens?
Do I?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
sure.
Okay.
You mean like illegal
This
aliens?
is gonna be like our little pinky promise. This is gonna be our little. This is gonna be our little pinky
Is it the
promise
pigeons?
secret. Okay. I think somebody at our school. Okay, and if you know me at school, you know who it is. And she is very lovely. She is super kind. But sometimes you look at people and you're like, they are not human. Like they are from a different dimension, and they are here to like I don't know what, but they are just not.
I agree.
Yes,
100% with
This
you.
woman at school is a reptilian. Like I promise you, she
Oh my
teleports.
God.
She teleports, and every time I tell my friends, I was like, "Did y'all see she came out of nowhere?" I'm telling you, there's reptilians on this earth. There are aliens on this earth, and people, and they put it in our plain. They put it in plain sight. In plain sight.
Yep, that's
All
how
right.
you hide something.
It's probably they hide out as part
This
of
is
the
Men in
groupies and
Yeah.
rock bands.
And when they go home, they take off their little flesh suits, and then they air them out.
All right, now let me ask that young man is that young man with us tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you
Alright.
think, John? Do you believe in aliens?
Yeah. Not to that extent, though.
That's nice.
This is like the Men in Black thing where they're
Yeah.
just like, oh, remember your first grade teacher?
Yeah. Hey, man. I guess you wait. The red pill was the one that made you woke, right?
I don't know.
Oh, I never watched The Matrix. Anyways, caller, do you believe aliens are real?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Let me ask you a question.
Mhm,
In this
mhm.
universe that has been, I don't know, some people say it's 10 billion miles wide or
Mhm.
whatever, right? Or whatever it is.
Mm.
We would think of ourselves being the only person in this place. You know, I have a hard time with that. There's way too many things out way past that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
So what do
You know
you
what
think
I'm
about the multiverse? Have you
Yeah,
done
like
any
parallel realities, things with like string theory, quantum physics.
Yes,
Yeah.
multiverse.
Yeah,
So that's like a whole nother thought process. Yeah.
And
that's you know, it's amazing. It's just I just didn't know the youth of today. If they, you know, I mean, back when I was young and your age, we used to watch Star Trek and think that was crazy. I mean, you know, Star Wars was like way out there, but it was like, hey, that's pretty cool, you know. But you know, it's just, you know, it's like you think that, you know, I've often noticed that sometimes that I think the media prepares us for certain things that they're trying to spring on us eventually. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of soften the blow a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's not too weird to think that you know. Well, they did that Orson Welles thing back in the 30s. Remember? I don't know. You guys, no, none of us remember
Sure.
that.
War of the Worlds.
What I'm saying,
Yes.
yeah, they were like people were going outside shooting the scarecrows. I mean, they were shooting it, and it looked like that alien in the. That's our scarecrow. No, that's the alien. Boom. Oh, it's like, you know, and if I was an alien, heck no, I wouldn't contact us. You know, most of them, people try to put buckshot in my backside.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, wow, man, did anybody ever like think about raising their hand and going, hey,
are you okay over there, or are you going to kill me, or are you going to try to eat me, or are we all right?
Right.
You know, it's like,
well, going back to your Star Trek reference, this one of the directives is referred to as the Prime Directive in the Star Trek world. It suggests that the people of the Federation do not interfere with the development of other cultures from other planets. So they refer to that as the Prime Directive, right?
Interesting.
So if I was an alien and I agree with our caller, I would not be contacting anybody here on this planet. I would be happy to observe them, but I sure don't want to let them know who I am.
Yeah.
They shoot one of them missiles off at my spaceship.
Well, you don't want
I think that's what they actually did. I think they shot that one down.
Right?
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, what about that one? I don't know if you guys are aware of this story, but this is a story that was picked up on the news. These guys were shooting a missile at a spaceship, not one of those sidewinder things, Okay. Well, the whole thing disappeared. The missile disappeared, and the spaceship disappeared. So they don't know if they did it or what.
It was a UFO. They were aiming at a UFO.
Right.
Probably.
And they both disappeared.
The next day,
yeah,
that missile ended up blowing up a ship in Vietnam, in a river in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason they know that was that missile they shot was the serial numbers on these missiles matched.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
So whoever, this is what goes on, whoever said what, did, like they took the missile, kept it the next day and said, hey, you want to throw this at me? I'm going to throw it right back at your butt.
I think that goes back to that multiverse thing. So,
Yes.
so it could phase out of our universe
and then
come back
into existence.
And then wherever the rotation of the Earth is, it's in a different place.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your call because we have to go to break in like 2
Take
minutes.
Care. God bless you guys.
Yes.
Talk to you later.
Of course. Watch out for them aliens.
Thanks a lot.
Bye. Well, I do have to say one thing before we go. So sophomore year, I took chemistry, and one day I stumbled upon these CIA documents, and they were about the Monroe Project. And what they were like a series of meditations, and what they would do is that they would have these people like meditate, and they would actually astral project into different realities. So, and then now like Gen Z kind of took it and TikTok went crazy, but they called it like reality shifting.
Yep.
And they were like, oh my God, like I just woke up, I spent like a year in Hogwarts, like Harry Potter world. Or they were like, oh, I was in the Marvel universe with all the superheroes and whatnot. I think that takes it a little bit too far.
Yeah.
But there is a sense where, if you tap into the right frequency with your mind, you might wake up and maybe people in America drive on the left side of the road instead of the right. Or maybe it's the day before rather than the next day rather than tomorrow. So it's often said that these parallel realities are very subtle. They're subtle shifts rather than like I woke up in some type of like story fantasy or whatever. But and lastly, thinking that there's no other life out there, I think is almost scary in a sense to think that we're in this huge world and we're the only ones who can think, feel, and process anything to the extent that we've been able to. That's kind of scary, especially given that humans don't like to be alone and we're social creaters.
Yeah. We
Things
just have
like
to
that.
make more of us and just populate all the other planets.
Oh, well,
to do an Elon Musk concept.
Yeah.
Populate other planets.
Oh well, we're gonna be right back, and I'll let John finish out with his space edition. So stay tuned.
And we'll be right back. 30 seconds. And we're starting off the second half of the show with another caller. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yes,
hear you
Mr.
now.
Bob.
Hey, how you doing, Big
Hey,
Bob?
guys, how you doing?
Good,
How-
good.
We're doing good. How you doing? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing okay. I'm from Jersey. Hey, no, I think Penn State would be a good thing for you.
Really? You think so?
Good fit, yeah.
I
Yeah.
applied for University Park, and the alternate campus that they offered me was York. I don't know where York or what York is, but it sounded like New York, so I just put it.
No, Penn State, I think you would like Penn State. I
Really?
think you'd be a good attribute there.
Oh, okay. I mean, I was looking at the school, and University Park is just beautiful. Like when I was looking at the pictures, I absolutely loved it. So I was like, "Huh, this is a really good backup. You know, I have options, and I think it would be a good option too." So a little less crazy than New York, which is fine. But yeah.
So you know my
but
travels.
No, I know that area. I know that whole area. And God, if I knew years ago, my dad, I don't know if I told you before, he was one of like a handful of people in Princeton in ETS that does all the PSATs and SATs. Yeah, he was a senior staff system analyst for PSATs and SATs.
All right.
So I could have got you snuck in there with a few bucks.
Oh man, yeah, but over here we like to play it fair.
I could have got you in the West Point. I could have got you in anywhere you wanted to.
Wow.
Oh well,
It's not what you know.
Well,
It's
my
who you
dad
know,
wouldn't
right?
know.
Yeah.
My dad wouldn't do it.
oh,
I would have figured it out.
aw. Well, I appreciate that. At least you're willing to go to that extent for me. I appreciate it. I appreciate
So over this past weekend, I was at the
Mhm.
air show. WSTU had a booth there,
it.
and so we had people come by. And over the past week, we've been a lot of fans of this show, and they've been approaching me. They want to know who you are, right? And one person asked me in particular if you were born here, U.S.
Oh yes, yes,
Okay.
I was.
All
yeah.
right. So they want you to think about running for president instead of just having a fully legal career. So put that in your
Okay.
your future thinking.
Uh,
What do you think, Bob?
yeah. What do you think, Mr. Bob?
No, yet. I want to see when she gets out of Penn State.
There you go.
Yeah. You know, maybe I won't be corrupted in New York, right? If I go to Penn State.
No, I'm just saying, when you get older, you'll
You'll find a way.
you're
Yeah, you can
amazing,
find your way.
but you come to grips with things when you get older.
Yeah, that is true. Wow. Well, any last remarks, Mr. Bob?
Yeah, I'm enjoying our governor.
Oh,
Wants to
DeSantis.
put restrictions on voting. You actually have to prove you have it, and you can't send in unfolded ballots, and that. I like Governor DeSantis. I really do. But Biden and Harris. There's an old saying that fits these two. They're an accident looking for an intersection.
Oh my goodness.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Oh my
no,
goodness.
it fits. It's not my comment. That's somebody else's. But
Nice. You always got the sickest burns, though. Always.
no, but Penn State would be great for you.
Yay.
I wish you were still. My dad was still alive to get you into any college you wanted. He has actually reviewed people to go for like West Point. Some places you had to have a lot of local support and even Congress people backing you on that.
Right.
Letters
of recommendation.
I worked there on the ranch group, grunge crew for a few years when I was young, but I was ruining my dad's reputation. I think he actually fired me. Got me fired.
Oh my!
Because I was a pain in the ass. I was ruining his reputation.
Aww.
No, that's not. Oh, it worked out well.
But you also have character. Sometimes being a pain makes you more memorable. How about that?
I'm definitely memorable.
Yes, you are, and sometimes that's actually a good thing. You know, main character vibes.
There you go.
All right, guys. Say thanks and get on with another call and end the show. Okay, I love you guys.
Right.
Bye.
Thanks, Bob.
Yep. Wish me luck so I don't get foot fungus this weekend. Seriously. Bye. All right. So, John, any last remarks on our space talk today?
Okay, something you guys might want to check out in the coming month. In about a month, the James Webb Space Telescope, which is a successor to Hubble, it's take aspects from its like predecessors, and it's basically like a more amped up version. Imagine Hubble, but with all the technology we have now. It's been about a decade, I think, in the making.
More than one.
More than one. Yep. And it's going up December 18th. So a month from now, be on the lookout because.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's going to look back into time 13 and a half billion years. I don't know if you can imagine that.
No, I'm only 18.
Right?
Oh, oops. I shouldn't say that because I'm going to be 18 in like a few days.
Okay.
You know, I just have to get used to saying it so I can just annoy my parents. Like, I'm 18 now. Can't spank me no more. I'm 18. So, oh well.
Take it away.
You know, my dad used to tell me, he said, I brought you in this world. I can
take you out of it. Yep. How iconic.
Right.
Anyways, move on. So our school is doing West Side Story, and crossing the fingers, I get one of the lead roles. So, and if I do, I mean, I don't want to give up the radio show for it because this is like my life. But if I have to, I shall. But I just wanted to talk about the importance of West Side, since you know, a lot of people at our school are not as cultured. And it's not their fault. It's just they don't come from a background of color. And therefore, like, they just probably see this as another just drama and play. And that's not their fault. But, you know, I never knew of this play until last year because I live under a rock. But when I learned of it, I was very touched about it. And last night, I had a really deep conversation with my friends about it. So I just kind of want to share that just idea today. And so if you don't know what West Side Story is, I'm going to do a really unjust and brief summary. It's basically Romeo and Juliet put in 1950s to 60s New York. Right. With and it addresses immigration, discrimination, gender roles, and how that all plays out within like an urban neighborhood that you'd see like out in the streets. And then you have the white boys and the white girls, which are the Jets, versus the Puerto Ricans, which are the Sharks. I don't know. Okay, so at first, when I first heard this, I was like, why did they call themselves the Sharks? That's because Puerto Rican is like a little island, and they swam over, and I was like, this is okay. This came from my Puerto Rican friends. So I was like, oh my goodness, like what are you guys talking about? But yeah, very interesting name, the Sharks. But oh well. So yeah, I'm auditioning for the girl named Anita, and she's like, "Oh, I love Manhattan." That's like her song. She's like, "I like the island Manhattan," and it's always like, "I know you do." So you know, and she's very fierce, and so I walked in there. I was just like, I mean, we can have a Haitian Puerto Rican, you know, because I'm Haitian. Can I get on this too? Like, because I am auditioning, and everybody's like, I should do it because I'm black, and there's black Puerto Ricans, which is yes. But I mean, I was so shut down because like being Haitian takes away from the message, which is very true. And even when I was auditioning, when I had to, we do like cold reads, and there was a line that I read, and my teacher literally afterwards goes, I think you went to the wrong country, no. And everybody was just laughing because I sounded more Creole than Puerto Rican. So so if you ever do see the show and I sound more Haitian than Puerto Rican, I do apologize. But although I don't fit the traditional Puerto Rican, stereotype
yeah.
or
Right.
whatever, which it is what it is because I fit the Haitian stereotype, so it's fine. Within West Side Story, what we talked about was just the importance of color representation overall. One of the biggest things is that it doesn't make sense to have like white characters on the Puerto Rican side when the huge contrast comes from the fact that one is of color and the other one isn't. That's where the roots of the discrimination and the message comes from.
Wow.
And in that sense. But the thing is that when we take away from these labels of like, oh, Puerto Rican, Haitian, white, black, this and that, or even brown in this sense, what we found is that like my friends, one of them is half Puerto Rican, half white. The other one is full Puerto Rican. I'm the Haitian in the group, and all of us could relate to the experience that were portrayed in West Side Story, in the fact that in the main song America, the girls are like, I want to be in America. I love America. Everything's free here. And then the boys are like, well, you need to fight. You have to fix your accent. They don't like us. You can't be one with them because they charge us more and they look at our color and that's how they define us. And the thing is that most of us have family members who are immigrants and who have lived this story. For me, it was my mom in the medical field. She was always told how like her accent and her language would be a barrier. They were something that would stand in the way of her being able to reach her goals and her dreams. And even then, even further beyond that, it was always like, oh, you're Haitian and you're a nurse. You're Haitian and you're doing this. And it was always a shock rather than a compliment, as of wow, you've come so far just for being who you are, in a sense. And we're also gonna go to break, so
grab this last
grab this caller and then we'll go to break.
Right.
So stay on hold, caller, and we'll be right back to finish this conversation.
All right, very good. We'll be right back, so stick with us. Maybe there it is. Frank here. Okay. Are you cool? That's very cool. So we got a minute 40 seconds to stand by. All right. Okay. Okay. Stand by, Charlie. No, you'll be fine. Stand by. Good. You sound good. Well, that's a good thing. One minute.
Caller on the line, so go ahead.
Yeah, here I am. This is your buddy Charlie again.
Yes,
First
I
off-
knew West Side would
Okay,
get you
all right.
going.
Okay, buddy. First off, Puerto Rico is an island.
Hmm.
It's not. It's. I used to always say, well, I'm half Puerto Rican, but Puerto Rico is an island. It's really not a race. People in Puerto Rico can't come from all over. And my grandmother it was the one Spanish or Puerto Rican Spanish speaking lady that I got to know as a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
And she would tell us a story. And you talk about mixed race, I'll tell you about that too. But she would tell us a story that I learned was totally true. Years later, she had passed away, and somebody from Texas, Houston, Texas, first name Harry, my last name, and sent me a family tree. He also sent it to my son, as I learned a couple years ago. I never knew that. But the family story was on that family tree, almost verbatim what my grandmother used to tell me. But there was a gentleman that used to visit us from Puerto Rico, her brother, black as coal. Her father had a maid, and part of the family used to take her to bed on occasion, and they had a child, and was brought up as her brother. He became a top attorney in Puerto Rico. He used to visit us in Cold Spring Harbor, Long Island, and brought the most awesome pastellis. So that's all I wanted to say.
No, it's no problem. I was just it's just the thing is that
I also wanted to add this because you talked about accent.
Mm-hmm.
This is the reason I called. My father was brought up in Brooklyn, Spanish speaking household. His brother spoke with a heavy Brooklyn accent. My father spoke with no accent whatsoever, taught himself to read before he started school. And it really is true. Somebody speaking with good diction, good, using the English language properly, you probably move ahead a little bit better than somebody's just, hey man, what's up?
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, of course. And well, we also watched like this video on anthropology talking about how like people were also discriminated. Like, for example, the Boston accent was something that was seen as very undesirable in comparison to like a Southern accent, where it's a lot like softer and less harsh. So that's just one example. So
what about Kennedy?
Oh,
JFK.
yeah.
I think he made it.
He did.
I think people are judged down deep by what they bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Even somebody that's, hey brother, I guess there's a segment like what's that rapper guy that's got religion?
Kanye?
Ran for president.
Kanye?
Yeah, Kanye West. Yeah.
Yeah, Kanye West.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he's successful, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard about Kylie Brenner or
Jenner?
Bruce
Jenner.
Jenner. When I was a young man, let me tell you, he was God. Decathlon,
Right.
And I understand that he's worth $100 million as, he switched.
Yeah, Caitlin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he turned out very successful. He found a path,
Yeah.
I guess everybody finds a path as long as you're happy and you're not hurting anybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Right?
All right. Very good.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, hang in, and we accept you into the Puerto Rican family.
Yay! I'll tell my friends about that.
Pastellis, you're a good person.
Thank you. I'll tell my friends about that. I know they'll have a hoot about it. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Adios, compadre.
Adios.
Adios.
Anyway, so like for me, it was with my mom and her just being discriminated against just with her accent, and for my full Puerto Rican friend, with her it was about like she doesn't come from a good background, but even then she was saying how her dad struggled a lot when he first came over with the discrimination and not being able to find a job and being told that Puerto Rico is a disgusting island and things like that. And for my half Puerto Rican friend, she was just saying that this is more of coming back to her Puerto Rican heritage. She was talking about how like with her grandma that she didn't get to spend a lot of time with. She said, if I get one of the lead roles, I know that my grandma would be proud of me, knowing that I would be representing where she came from, and my family. They would they would just be so touched knowing that, you know, I'm representing them.
Right.
You know, and I think at that point it opens up, and this movie opens up a meaningful conversation and brings to light how, you know, we can we can reflect on race and the experiences that we go through and kind of change for the better, and how, yeah, I'm not Puerto Rican. Well, I guess I was accepted, so that's good to know. But but I have to be honest. I will never relate to the Puerto Rican like experiences. I will only relate to the Haitian experiences that I've seen in my life and that affect my family, and that's just the honest truth.
And so, what you do as an actor,
Yeah.
you draw from your own personal experience
And you
then
give
try to
into that.
emote. Yes.
Yeah. Hence my little Haitian accent rather than the Puerto Rican.
Right.
But
Yeah,
it's
cool.
But I mean, but what makes it beautiful is that all of us from these different backgrounds, from these different storylines, but of color, can come together and find meaning in impactful motivations for wanting to be a part of this play, and whether or not we get the roles, because I don't really care. I mean, I could be doing stuff anyways, so it's fine. But it's just more the fact that this movie opens up a lot. I wish I knew it sooner, and it also gives a really beautiful message. And I mean, I have more to talk about, but it's very long. I don't know what to do. So how about, let me just introduce this. So I was selected to be a part of this, what you call a constitutional debate, which I think is very interesting. And we're working on the case of Miller v. Alabama. I was going to ask the question of whether or not it's ethical to put minors on life sentences without parole, since that was what happened. The Alabama Supreme Court of Appeals, I think, basically ruled that this 14-year-old boy with the last name Miller, whose first name I do not know because I just got this case this morning. Basically, this 14-year-old robbed and murdered somebody in the process of robbing, I think, or
yeah, sounds
there was
right.
there was murder involved,
Right.
and these judges said, basically tried him as an adult and said that you're going to be put in jail for life without parole. And so now what we're doing is that we're basically rehashing this case, and one of us is either going to get Miller or Alabama. Like, they decide whether we should put minors on life sentences without parole or we shouldn't. I personally think.
What year did this take place?
Oh, this was 2012.
Okay, not that long.
It's not that long ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So like early 2010s. And what I found, this is just a little bit before we go. What I found is that the United States Supreme Court on June 25th, 2012, actually used in a historic ruling in Miller v. Alabama in its companion case, Jackson v. Hobbs, and they held that mandatory life without parole sentences for all children 17 years old or younger convicted of homicide are unconstitutional. So for right now, you know, unless this is rehashed out again or whatnot, we are safe, John. Well, I'm not in like a few days, maybe like give it like less than 2 weeks. I won't be safe, but John, you have a young life. You are very talented. You are very smart. I know you're going to be something big in the science field wherever you go. So, but don't ruin that by getting charged with life sentences. And I think this is actually so iconic or ironic as well that we got this case, given that the Kyle Rittenhouse case is going on, and that's like blowing up in everybody's faces,
right?
Which is something that
and the jury is still deliberating.
Yeah, which is why I wanted to talk about it this week, but again, it's just
hopefully
too much
by
floating
next
in the
week's
air.
Show, next week
Thanksgiving.
We won't have a show next week.
Yeah.
So hopefully by our next show, we'll have a result on that case and we can discuss that.
Yeah, that's why I've been holding off. So those of you who have been wanting to know about the Kyle Rittenhouse case and possibly my take on it, because I do have some opinions.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, it's like I've been
John
following
is nodding his head.
Yeah.
in affirmation.
because like my dad's been talking about it.
Right.
My friends have been talking about it.
Mhm.
The biggest thing that's been blowing up is like, oh my God, the judge screamed at the prosecution.
Right.
And
why?
like,
Because of
no,
prosecuted-
yeah, it's was not
prosecutorial,
playing fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Misconduct. Yep.
Correct.
And things like that. But and I'm ready to go into all of it when
Right.
when things settle down and it's not being thrown around too
Yeah.
much. But yeah, I just think it's so funny because he did commit this crime when he was 17, or like he did kill
He was
somebody.
accused.
Yeah, he
of-
was accused of a
Mm.
crime. Yeah, sorry, misspeak.
Right.
He was accused of a crime when he was 17, technically a minor. So if a lawyer really is good, I would bring in this case before it gets remanded or whatever happens,
Mhm.
with this crazy world.
My guess is it's going to be thrown out. If I'm going to.
Oh yes, with the mistrial
Mhm,
allegations
mhm,
going on
mhm,
and whatnot.
mhm, mhm.
But we shall see.
It'll be perhaps thrown out with prejudice, which means it will be not
Mhm.
retried.
oh, well, we'll see.
So
All right, stay tuned. I hope you have a good Thanksgiving since we won't see you. Stay
Right.
safe and watch out for them showers. Don't get
And-
no foot fungus.
there you go. All righty. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time right here on Treasure Coast Forum.
Bye bye.